mention of Dennis and this money from this impeachment motion, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Now, did you see any documents to suggest that indeed Dennis, this was money from Dennis? Did you see any document or paper trail?
No, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. I want us to move at paragraph 24 and 25. You've made reference to the allegation that this story has been taken to EACC. You've seen that? That this allegation of you having received 500,000 or otherwise 800,000 has been reported to EACC. You've seen that?
Yes, I've seen that, Mr. Speaker.
What do you have to say about that allegation? Were you aware of any EACC investigations?
I have not been aware, Mr. Speaker, until this mention in
these proceedings.
Yes.
Okay. And have you been summoned by EACC to account for this alleged 800,000 or 799,000?
No, Mr. Speaker.
You have not been summoned. At paragraph 28, you've discussed 27, paragraph 27. You said that Mr. Joseph Misati came with his 4 sons to your place, isn't it?
Yes.
At whose request was the visit?
The visit was a request by Mr. Misati.
It was a request from Mr. It was not you who summoned them, as Dennis said?
No, I did not summon them.
Okay. And in that paragraph 27, you said Dennis and his 3 other brothers sat at a distance from you and Mr. Misati, Mr. Joseph Misati, isn't it?
That's true.
Do you have a rough estimate of how far apart you were?
Mr. Speaker, we were in 2 different houses that could be probably 20, 30 meters apart.
So, different houses and could be between 20 and 30 meters apart.
That's true.
Is there a point at which you were in a congregation of yourself, Joseph Misati, and the 4 sons? Together?
Together, when they entered my home, we sat in the main house, and when they were served with tea, then we moved out.
My question is, when, in the course of the visit, was there a point at which you were all together talking, discussing, anything?
No, Mr. Speaker.
No, at no point. And both Mr. Dennis Misati and Mr. Joseph Misati confirmed that, isn't it?
That's true.
Okay. Now, I'd like us to move on to paragraph 29 and paragraph 30. What is your answer to the question raised by Dennis that this money was a bribe?
Sorry?
At paragraph 29 and 30, Dennis Misati says that this money was a bribe. What do you, and later on said it is a facilitation. What do you have to say to that allegation?
Mr. Speaker, the 2 allegations are a new thing to me. I do not approve of it. I do not accept it.
Did you receive a bribe from either Dennis or his father or both of them?
Mr. Speaker, I have not received a bribe from my friend Joseph Misati, nor his son Dennis.
Nor both of them jointly?
Nor both of them, of course, jointly.
Okay. Now, as you can imagine, the county councils are waiting to deal with you on what you said at paragraph 28 and 31. I would like us to just look at that for paragraph 28 and 31. At that paragraph 28, you confirm that Mr. Misati mentioned to you that his son had applied for a job.
That is true, Mr. Speaker.
He mentioned that to you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Paragraph 28 at page E6, honorable members in the DG's bundle. You say there was a conversation on that. Who initiated that conversation?
Mr. Speaker, this conversation was initiated by Mr. Misati.
And what was he saying?
He told me he has learned that there is a job coming up.
Okay. And
in a Wasco in Kisii.
Okay. And did you promise him that you'd get him the job?
No, I didn't promise him that I'll get him the job.
What did you tell him?
I told him let him make whoever the son is to apply, and the right process be followed,
Okay.
Mr. Speaker.
Now, in the Hansard, page 189 to 190, you remember the long cross-examination from my colleagues on Mr. Misati. Page 189 of the County Government Bundle, Volume 1, is the answer of the events of the 29th, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I would like you to read the two last sentences at paragraph 190 of what you said you did in reference to Ms. Wahito, the CEO of Quasco.
Mr. Speaker, and I read,
Just read the whole paragraph. The governor's office. Okay, just start here.
Mr. Speaker,
You read from the last sentence at the bottom of page 189 into the first paragraph at page 190. Please read.
Mr. Speaker, I read, like any other leader, Mr. Speaker, this request came to me. Everyone, honorable members, know that Lucy in Wasco would work under like any and many staff who work under the governor's office, where I'm also the deputy to the governor. And so I indicated to Lucy, asking her if they had such kind of jobs, and she said yes. A friend is making a request that he gets his son a job, like everyone of us here would do. And she told me, let us wait for the process, and if he qualifies, we shall not deny him the job, and the discussion ended there.
And apart from having mentioned to Lucy at this point in time, did you make any follow-up on it?
No, Mr. Speaker.
And Lucy said you summoned her to your office on 4th of May. What do you have to say about it?
I'm saying no, Mr. Speaker, I've not summoned Lucy to my office. I have not.
You did not summon her on this
No.
issue? Okay. She said also in her statement, what did she say in her original statement which you encountered at the county assembly when she called you after receiving the sum of 100,000?
Can you come again?
So when you went to the county assembly to defend yourself, Lucy had recorded a statement, isn't it?
Yes.
In that statement, she said she had called you after receiving 100,000. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to go to specific point at which she talks about the purpose of the money. She said she called you. What did she say was your reaction to that issue?
Mr. Speaker, she states verbatim,
Yes.
on the morning of 29th May 2023, I called the deputy governor and asked him what the money was.
Which paragraph is that again? Just tell the honorable.
This is on page E7, paragraph 38, honorable senators.
The deputy governor's bundle, sorry. So you've quoted verbatim what she says, and she said, in the morning of 29th, I called the deputy governor and asked him what the money was, but he kept quiet, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
That was her original statement. Then she wrote another affidavit on the 9th of March and said that you told her that the money was in respect to the request for a job for Dennis. You remember that?
I remember, Mr. Speaker.
Do you agree with what she said in the affidavit?
I do not agree with that statement in that affidavit, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. And do you agree with what she said in the statement of 8th of February saying you kept quiet?
Mr. Speaker, I also don't agree that I kept quiet.
And what do you have to say? Do you remember that conversation occurring?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And what did you say?
I told her that that money was mistakenly, erroneously sent to her number.
Okay.
And asked her if she can send the money back. Do I continue?
Okay. And so then I would like us to move on then. Did you, then so you told her it was an error, it was sent to her by error?
Yes, Mr.
It was
Speaker.
meant for?
The same money was intended to go to another person, Gladys Aminga, who does transport business and had given her an assignment to deliver building materials, and I was paying for the same, which money went to the wrong recipient,
Okay.
Mr. Speaker.
Now, then there is the story of whether or not you try to reverse the remittance. What do you have to say about that question of whether or not you try to make to reverse the remittance?
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to claim to be an expert in IT. I tried to do the reversal. I didn't manage, and I do not get a reason why I couldn't manage, and therefore I stopped it at that as I waited for the Lucy Waitho to return the money to me.
And did you eventually get the return of the money?
Sorry?
Did you get the money returned to you?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the money was returned to me.
On which date?
On the 30th of May,
To Lucy Wahito, sorry, to Aminga.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Aminga.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Once I realized that I made a mistake and sent the money to a wrong recipient, I immediately remitted the money. Gladys Aminga needed that morning to deliver the materials we had discussed.
And you've explained those payments at paragraph 35 of your affidavit, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Now, could you confirm that those entries of the remittances to Gladys Aminga are in your M-Pesa statement at page 89 to 104, 89 to 104, at particularly paragraph 99 and 97? The sum of 100,000 plus 40,000 plus 65,000. In the Deputy Governor's bundle again.
Which page?
Page 99, or rather, yes. Page 99 and page 97.
This pamphlet I have here is not there.
I will use my bundle. Look at it. At page 99, is it true that you sent 100,000 to Lucy to Gladys Aminga at 8:03 on the 31st of May? Sorry, 40,000?
Yes, I sent 40,000 as a second installment, Mr. Speaker.
And the first payment of 100,000 was paid on which date?
I paid the 100,000 on the 29th of May at 9:17 a.m. in the morning.
You're referring to page 99, isn't it?
That's page 99, Mr. Speaker.
And then you made another payment, which is captured at page 97, of how much?
Mr. Speaker, sorry. Mr. Speaker, I made another remittance of 65,000 on the 24th of June at 13:21.
And all these payments were for?
These payments, Mr. Speaker, were for the consignment of materials that I wanted transported, building materials, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Now, what was your explanation for why you say you erroneously sent this money to Lucy when you meant to send them to Gladys?
Mr. Speaker, as I was picking the number to send the money to, I erroneously picked the one for Gladys instead of Lucy. One for Lucy Waido instead of Gladys Aminga.
And why did you make that mistake? What could be the explanation for that mistake?
Mr. Speaker, the way I've saved those numbers in my phone.
Could we go to page 117B? Page 117B of the Deputy Governor's bundle. Could you confirm what is that at page 117B? What is that at page 17B? Is that
These are the contacts, Mr. Speaker.
this is your phone book on your phone?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
The way you saved the numbers?
Yes.
And could you confirm if the names of both Lucy and Gladys are there?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Could you say, how have you saved the name of Lucy?
The name of Lucy is saved as CEO Wasco Lucy.
And the name of Gladys?
CEO Healthy Gladys Aminga.
How far apart are those two names?
Neighbors, Mr. Speaker, to one another.
They're next to each other.
Yes.
And they're next to each other. And what do you have to say about the first two initials you've used to describe them?
Mr. Speaker, I'd chosen to put the government officers in the same identity for ease of reaching their contacts. And so that is the way I'd identified them in my saving in the phone
as CEO. What is the meaning of CEO?
Chief Officer.
Chief Officer. And what do you have to say about the alphabet?
The alphabet, Mr. Speaker, after CEO is Wasco. That Wasco is followed by H, which is health. And so that is the reason why they are neighbors.
Okay. So your position is G for Quasco in Lucy is followed alphabetically by health in the name of Gladys, and which then resulted in the arrangement of the names. Now, I'd like us to move on to the issue of threats to Dennis Misati. Did you threaten Dennis Misati?
No, Mr. Speaker.
It is said that you sent the threat to his father. Did you tell your father? Did you tell Dennis's father to go and tell Mr. Dennis that you are going to do something against him?
No, Mr. Speaker.
You did not. Okay. And did you have any direct conversation between yourself and Dennis at any point?
I've not had any conversation, Mr. Speaker, with Dennis Misati.
Directly?
Never.
Okay. Now, we move on to the issue of county staff. It is said that you have county staff at your premises. Do you have them?
True, I have county staff.
Are you entitled to those county staff from your understanding of the HR manual at the county and SRC guidelines?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
How many people do you have?
I have what is my entitlement of 6 staff.
Yes.
Who are in my compound.
Yes.
One of them being my PA among the 6. And Mr. Speaker.
Okay, now let's move on time.
I also have enforcement officers to give security to my compound.
Okay. Now, did you assign yourself those staff, both the enforcement officers and the other 6 staff?
Mr. Speaker, I was guided to provide names for personal staff,
yes,
which I did to the County Public Service Board, and they were recruited. For the enforcement officers, Mr. Speaker, immediately we were announced as winners. I found some officers at my gate. I've never known how they were sent there, and I've only found myself comfortable that they are giving me the security I need.
You did not determine the people who came to you?
I've not determined the people who should come and the numbers that should come, Mr. Speaker.
But for the 6, you suggested the names and the Public Service Commission assigned them to you?
That's true, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. The issue of your brother, the arrest of your brother, did you get 20 people to go and assist the police effect the arrest?
Mr. Speaker, no.
And who effected the arrest?
I reported to the police and I left it at that. So I expect that it's the police who arrested my brother.
And do you know where they were kept? Was it at the county cells or at the police cells?
That, Mr. Speaker, I did not get to know.
And did you take out an OB for your complaint?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I did.
You have an OB?
Yes.
Okay. And do you, okay, I will leave it there. Now, it is said that you use the county staff to feed dogs, to dig a well, to maintain dairy, and to do farming. Let's start with farming. Do you recall that your brother, after testifying, when he was being re-examined, said neither you nor him is doing any farming?
Yes, that he did, Mr. Speaker.
And is it true that you're not doing any farming?
Mr. Speaker, I do not do any kind of farming in my Kisii rural home.
But Mr. Matundura, your brother Robin, had said that you use them for farming, and then came here and said there is no farming, isn't it?
Yeah, he has those two positions, which I do not know how he will explain it.
Okay. The well?
The well, Mr. Speaker, I have not done a well in my home since I became deputy governor. The well I have was done in 2003.
Okay. And dairy?
I do not keep any kind of livestock, be it a dog, cat, cattle, name them poultry, nothing in that Kisii home, possibly elsewhere.
Okay. And dogs? They were saying that you have some staff serving as cooking for dogs.
Mr. Speaker, if it were possible, I would have invited the House to visit our home. Even tomorrow, we go together with my brother leading us to show us the details of what he has shown, if it were possible.
Senior Counsel,
Sir.
your 30 minutes are up. I will give you 2 more minutes to wind up.
Can I request for 5, kindly, Mr. Speaker, sir? Kindly.
I give you 3 minutes.
Okay, let me try. Now, Mr. Dr. Monda, at paragraph 52 at paragraph 48 and at paragraph 52, it is said that you should not hold office for various reasons. And I would like to just read what he said at paragraph 48 and then probably respond to them as a bundle. At paragraph 48, you say, so 48 is allegation that you are incompetent and have abused office, 1. Number 2, that you are responsible for an absorption of the budget. 3, that the budget was funded. 4, that there is non-use of senior staff mortgage provision. 5, that there is use of personal home for purposes of county functions, meetings, and files. 5, that you are not working with other leaders in Kisii County, and lastly, that you are responsible for use of unofficial personnel in county matters. You've seen that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. What do you have to say about those allegations? Let's start with the issue of incompetence and abuse of office. Do you admit that?
Mr. Speaker, I deny that I'm incompetent
me welcome our partner for the 16th Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture, Ntate Motsepe. I guess at this point, you all know who I'm gonna call. I haven't said anything. Please help me welcome the former President of the US, President Barack Obama. Without sitting down, I would like us to please sing the national anthem of South Africa. This will be rendered by the Soweto Gospel Choir. I have to tell you that I tried to audition and they rejected me. And I'm still trying to sing for the Soweto Gospel Choir. So I'll still try, Prof. There they come.